A 13-year-old girl with severe to profound hearing loss is striving to use art as a form of expression. Jomiloju, an only child raised by her mother, has shown an unusual knack for greatness even in a predicament. In this Sunday special, senior reporter Awakan takes us through the world of Jomiloju and the possibility of a better medical condition for her.
According to a report by the World Health Organization, over 430 million people require rehabilitation to address their disabling hearing loss, including 34 million children. It is also estimated that by year 2050, over 700 million people will have disabling hearing loss. This disturbing statistic came to mind when I received these videos about a promising left-handed girl who faced a severe to profound hearing loss, but using art as a form of escapism and expression. My visit to the Poroye family in Fagba area of Lagos opened my eyes to the power of resilience and willingness even when situations seem unpleasant. I saw the picture of a joyful little girl when I entered the house, but I was told of how those smiles were accompanied by unavoidable health challenges she never bargained for. This is Jomiloju Poroye, a 13-year-old girl whose life is a testimony. I decided to speak with her mother to understand how Jomiloju, who was born premature, has become her only source of joy.
We stayed about 2 months in the hospital just watching her because she came out looking very small.
When Jomiloju's peers were already walking, Jomiloju had just started crawling, and that made her mother stop taking her along to public functions.
We were referred to a physiotherapist, an orthopedic. We were putting her legs in POP, we're casting it, I have to carry her everywhere I was going. She can't even stand on her own because she had POP, she had scotch casts on her legs. So we did all of that for years. One day, she just stood up and she was smiling. She was clapping. So me too, I started clapping. I just busted into tears. She too was crying because I was like, So you will stand. She just stood on her own. And since that day, that's how she started walking.
It was when Jomiloju's mother thought she had surmounted that difficulty that another episode began to gulp millions of naira from her.
I was asked to go and do full audiometry test. It was from there we now discovered that she had severe to profound hearing loss. She could not hear. And because she could not hear, she would not be able to talk. They cut this place open, drill the skull and put some electrodes inside and connect it with the brain. So it took a while before it healed. It was a very painful surgery.
Jomiloju needed to express herself even when she could barely hear or speak. Her only means then was drawing and painting as a form of escapism.
When she's talking to me, our words were not clear. If she does anything wrong, before I come back, she would have gone to decorate my room with paper. Mommy, sorry. She put sorry everywhere. So that was when I discovered that this girl can actually draw.
Mrs. Jomiloju Poroye took me through the series of drawings that her baby girl had done over the few years that she started using her hands to create magic. See Jomiloju walking down the stairs with her drawing materials. For the sake of this report, I requested that she produced an artwork for me. Without wasting time, Jomiloju opened an image of watermelon from her phone to replicate on paper. I watched her closely as she used her left hand to create the shapes, strokes and lines in her drawing. We Within a few minutes, Jomiloju was done and she was applauded for the finished work.
Fantastic.
I asked her to tell me about herself and her inspiration for drawing. Jomiloju responded to me, but her words were not so clear.
Did this?
Yeah.
Jomiloju has shown that there is no limitation in the expression of talent. She is a true definition of ability in disability. And as it is, she wants to be a source of joy to her mother, who has actually been there for her all along to this level that she's living to fulfill her destiny.
My husband was there. He was very, very supportive. In 2013, I had a baby who was a stillbirth. That was when I had pregnancy-induced hypertension. I had a set of twins after her. That one came as a miscarriage at about 5 months. Then in 2017, I had another one. Those were even triplets. Immediately after the incident, I just noticed that it changed. I noticed that sometimes he won't even come to the house.
I also requested to see the speech therapist and engage her about Jomiloju.
She was not even, making any sound. So we had to learn how to, listen to sounds. I'll make some sounds with my hands, with objects, a lot of things for her to be able to detect. We did that for about 3 good months.
Mrs. Chukwu admits that Jomiloju's skills will help her communicate better with her environment.
Drawing speaks a lot. If she cannot speak, or if she cannot interpret what you have said, she can use that skill that she has in her to tell you this is what she's trying to say.
On my second visit to the Poroye family, Jomiloju's mother took us to her school, not too far from the house. This is Mulder Hand College. The staff were excited to see her. Some students were in school for some activities and I used the opportunity to get one of them to talk about her.
She's easygoing, she's pleasing. Even today now, she just gave me a thumbs up because I just saved her to do something. And you feel happy, you feel thankful that I like being around her.
All right. Pastor Emmanuel Agu is the director of the school. He says Jomiloju is an intelligent and sociable girl who is loved by other students and teachers. Mr. Agu faults parents who would prefer to keep special children at home rather than allow them to express themselves outside.
You start out to find a way of engaging them so that they can sieve out, they can bring out, they can filter out those talents that can be useful to the society. So that awareness has not really been that much in this part of the world. So, and parents need to know that such things don't limit any child. All you need to do is to find people who can harness this kind of talent, discover it and bring them out.
Abimbola Awolusi is one of Jomiloju's teachers. She believes Miss Poroye's talent has made her stand out in the school. Before leaving the school, I knew I had one more place to visit, and that was the hospital where Jomiloju's medical record could be assessed. We drove from Fagba to Ikeja.
Who is the restaurant?
This is Dr. Afolabi Simeon, the audiologist at the BSA Hearing and Speech Center. He has been attending to Jomiloju from the age of 4.
How are you? Hope you are hearing very well. How's your school?
After assessing her, the medical expert says she needs bilateral implantation.
It's good to upgrade her speech processor. If the speech process is upgraded, the speech clarity will be there. So, which is what she really needs, clarity of speech. For now, N7 upgrade is around 40 million for that year. So it's around that period. But everything depends on the exchange rate and things like that. But that's an average cost now.
Jomiloju's mother will now need almost 15 million naira for upgrades and therapy sessions to be able to see her only daughter hear and speak well. According to the year 2020 statistics by the Speech Pathologists and Audiologists Association in Nigeria, no fewer than 8.5 million Nigerians are suffering from hearing impairment. This figure would have increased 4 years later.
During pregnancy period, you advise them they should be careful of self-medication. They should follow normal procedure during pregnancy that the doctors will be giving to them. When the child is born too, the hearing is supposed to be checked immediately after the child is born.
Surviving as a premature baby with a hearing loss challenge may have traumatized her and her mother. But one solace for the family is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. With her self-taught display of artistic dexterity in artwork and hope of a better medical condition in the near future. Ola Awakan, TVC News, Lagos.